Either don't have her on or let her say it and then debate her. It feels like Hunt fell for the trap. The RNC now has a great clip going wild with it on social media. Levitt appeared on Steve Bannon's War Room podcast about it.
CNN showed their hand with me on their network this morning. The fact that they cut off my microphone simply for repeating words that Jake Tapper himself has said, lies about President Trump. So Jake Tapper can go on the air and spew those lies all they want. But when I simply try to repeat them, which is relevant because he's a moderator at Thursday's debate, they cut me off and kicked me off. It was honestly shocking what occurred this morning. But it shows that this is not going to be a fair debate on Thursday.
Yeah, I think it was a trap. And that theme is being picked up by many in the right-wing media with clips of Tapper and Bash like these being presented as evidence of bias.
But now the Trump presidency is coming to an end, an era of just plain meanness. It must be said, to paraphrase President Ford, for tens of millions of our fellow Americans, their long national nightmare is over.
The dehumanizing rhetoric of Adolf Hitler is once again alive and well on a national political stage. This time, of course, in the United States. This time given life by former president and current Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump. I mean, who needs Pravda? You have Donald Trump right there repeating Russian propaganda.
He did try to kill democracy once, and he's going to try to do it again.
Look, let's be clear. Yes, these anchors have been critical of Trump. Doesn't mean they haven't also been critical of Biden at times, and it doesn't mean they won't be fair at the debate. But CNN just provided some great ammo for those who will, of course, draw that conclusion, no matter what happens. Joining us now is NewsNation media contributor Steve Krakauer. He's the author of Uncovered: How the Media Got Cozy with Power, Abandoned Its Principles, and Lost the People. Steve, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. All right, do you think that that Caroline Levitt set a trap for CNN that they fell into, or am I being too conspiratorial?
I don't know if it's a trap. I mean, as you mentioned, they expected this to be coming. So I think she was sticking to the talking points. She talked for about 45 seconds before she got interrupted and did the whole, my colleagues, how dare you? So I think they expected it to be coming. But I think the trap, if there was one, is really one that CNN's Casey Hunt just kind of fell into. Because to your point, you have the argument. Maybe the trap was to argue it out. Let's fight it out on the air. By the way, just not for anything, but that's good TV. The bad TV is saying, okay, goodbye, we're going to not talk to you anymore. No, good TV is argue it out. Let's do the whole segment with it. And Caroline Levitt, by the way, was about to move on anyway. But no, I think that it was the talking points that they should have expected and handled really just poorly by the host. I mean, she should have just had a conversation, had it out, and then moved on, which it certainly seemed like the guest was ready to do.
But it seems the left-leaning media, on the other hand, loved it. So maybe it was the right thing for her audience. I mean, this is what happened on The View today.
Caroline, thank you very much for your time. That was so good. So good.
Right? I mean, yeah, it depends on who your audience is. I mean, if your audience is for the left, hey, yeah, we stuck it to them and, you know, shut her up. And
It's actually precisely a great microcosm of where we're at in this current moment. The left is full of, even within the media on the left, of these anti-speech activists. They don't want to have the conversation. They want to just shut up the other side. And the right, you look at Donald Trump, he is going into, let's be clear, Caroline Levitt called it hostile environment. I would say that's fair. I think it's fair to say that Jake Tapper and Dana Bash, who I think are fine, but they're certainly going to be more hostile to Donald Trump than to Joe Biden. And so, yes, but he's willing to go and have that conversation like he was willing to go and have a town hall with Caitlin Collins on CNN. And so I think that it's just a perfect encapsulation. The left cheers when they stop the other conversation. No, we can't even talk to this person. This person is dangerous and we can't even give them airtime. Yeah. And the right wants to see the fight. They want to kind of have that debate, have that little conversation go on. That's honestly, I think, where most Americans are. They want to see more conversation, and they don't want to just kind of see people shutting up and then ending the interview.
Look, I agree. I'm not sure it's that clearly aligned along party lines, but you're right that there's a lot of that. There's definitely, I think, more of it on the left in terms of we don't want to hear it. But I think that I'm gonna pause and say I'm gonna give Tapper and Dana Bash a chance. I'm gonna watch them. We're gonna be covering it here on NewsNation. If they're unfair, I'm gonna say it. But we shall see how they do. Steve Krakauer, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Must see TV. Yeah. Thanks, Dan.
For sure. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.